My name is Jenny Taylor. I am the wife and widow of Major Brent Taylor, who was killed in Afghanistan in November of 2018. Many people have now heard of our foundation and the great work we do. People know about the flag that flies in the North Ogden Canyon every year around Veterans Day. They might know that we set up flags at different funerals and other military events. And many of you have now come to participate in our 9/11 commemorative event. But let me tell the story a little bit of how all of this came to be. Brent and I were married for 15 years, and he was a soldier for just as long. He was on his 4th combat deployment the day he turned 39. And I'll admit to you, it was on his 39th birthday that I started planning his 40th birthday. I never set out to start a nonprofit foundation. I really just wanted to celebrate my husband's birthday. I had started planning that from the day he turned 39 and had no idea that by the time he turned 40, it would have been months after his combat death. Brent died in November of 2018. To the shock of me, our 7 kids, his parents, his siblings, my family, and the entire city of North Ogden, where he was serving as our mayor. And as the weather started to warm up in 2019, I began to realize Brent's birthday was coming, with or without him here. I couldn't bring myself to pretend the day didn't exist. And I certainly didn't want to not celebrate that amazing life lived. So thanks to my family and some wonderful friends, we decided to throw a 40th birthday anyway. And we actually decided to make it a fundraiser so that we can raise some money for some memorial scholarships at Brent's 2 colleges where he attended school, BYU and the University of Utah. We launched a campaign called 40 for 40 where we wanted to raise $40,000 in honor of Brent's 40th birthday party. We came to the city park. We had people donate items for an auction. People could donate money for their lunch and just pitch in toward this cause. And I cannot believe how much support we felt that day, how much love and outpouring of shared grief from this community. And that really is how the Major Brent Taylor Foundation got started. A few months after Brent's 40th birthday, some members of my family and I had a wonderful opportunity to go to Fort Benning in Georgia. There's a global war on terrorism memorial monument there that is just stunning. It depicts that 20-year war, the service and the sacrifice, and it shows in stone the name of every single fallen man and woman who died in that war on terrorism. In 2019, my family and I were able to go and attend that beautiful, solemn ceremony. We were able to find Brent's name etched in stone on that wall. We were able to take a paper and a crayon and make an etching that we could bring home and share with our family and show to the little kids who didn't make the trip with us. As my family and I enjoyed that incredible ceremonial weekend, we realized there are thousands of names on that wall. Not just Brent's, but thousands of names on that wall. And of those thousands of names, dozens of them have family right near us in our home state of Utah. And in 2020, we invited 3 of those families and we helped them get to Fort Benning to experience for themselves the ceremony that honored the sacrifice of their service member. We were able to take family of Clint Farron, one of North Ogden's homegrown boys that was one of America's first to die in the early years in the war in Iraq. We also had the family of Nigel Olson who came with us, a young Marine who jumped into the Marines right after high school graduation and was killed in 2010. We were also able to take Brian and Bronwyn Mount and their son Dylan, while they honored their other son, Cooper Mount, who was killed in Syria in the summer of 2020. That was 3 families, plus our family is 4. There are dozens of families from the state of Utah who have a loved one's name etched in stone on that beautiful monument back in Georgia, and most people in Utah don't even know the monument exists. The global war on terrorism began in September of 2001 with the terrorist attacks in New York City, Washington, D.C., and Pennsylvania. But this monument wasn't built until 2018. It's only been there a few years, and yet there are so many names from so many loved ones in our local hometowns that we want to help get to that monument. We want to give them the opportunity to travel back east, to enter that beautiful sacred space, to celebrate not war, but what the war was fought for, to celebrate not the death, but the life lived by those heroes. But over 7,000 paid the ultimate price of freedom in the global war on terrorism alone, and dozens of them come from Utah. We want to help get these families back east to see these monuments, to see this name, to connect with other Gold Star families from around the country. Think of it like an honor flight. Honor Flight is a wonderful organization that lets our older veterans from previous generations travel to our nation's capital to celebrate the heroism of their generation's warfighters. What we're proposing here with the Major Brent Taylor Foundation is along a similar vein. We want Honor Flight for Gold Star families. We want the mothers, the fathers, the sisters, the brothers, the spouses and children, young or old, to have a chance to honor their hero in this sacred way. There are dozens of names on that wall in Fort Benning with family members right here in Utah. Wouldn't it be wonderful if each of them could have the same experience?